Greetings, all. This is the next Aries gate transition to Sun in the third gate. This will be on the 17th. You'll be hearing this on Thursday, the 17th. I'm doing this a little early. And it'll last there in lines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 till about the late 21st up to the 22nd. And this is the chart of the 17th. So this will be Thursday when you guys get it. And as you could kind of hopefully see somewhat clearly, the sun will move into this gate right here, gate 3. Now, gate 3 is not making any electromagnetic to gate 60. There's no planets in gate 60 in transit. And so neither the sacral or the root are turned on for the transits. In fact, none of the centers are being defined. And indeed, the root center is open. And I'm not sure if the head center is open, the ajna center is open. No, the head, yeah. I'm not sure because I can't see, but I'm pretty sure it's not. And when a center is wide open, meaning there's no gates next to it, like right here on the bottom here, this root center, there's no gates active. Oh, there is the 41. There's the 41. So actually, the ego center is the only one that's open. So there's some other things happening. I'm going to go over those and then I'll go deeper into the meaning of gate 3. Some of the deeper things is we have Pluto in gate 41, the gate of fantasy, limiting our resources, forcing some of us to endure the fantasies which are being slowly torn down, and Mars slowly opposing, going into opposition. We see Mars here in gate 56. So Mars will be opposing Pluto right at the end, right at the beginning of the next Aries Sun Gate entering. No, it'll be Taurus actually. The next gate on the wheel, which will be gate 27. Looks like it still will be Aries. No, no, it'll be Taurus. And in fact, gate 3 is the last degrees of Aries into the first degrees of Taurus. So actually in human design, because we're splitting the signs up into 5 gates, usually there's the first and the fifth gate usually intermingle with the sign preceding or the sign ahead. So you'll see here that so we're looking at Sun in gate 3, and it's the gate of beginnings. Just like kind of like the 53 is it sort of gate of beginnings, and that's next to it on these are all format channels here. And so the 42, 53 channel cycles, the 360s mutation. And what we're looking at is the themes around beginnings, how to implement something new, breaking with the old ways of doing things. Now, in the I Ching, this is difficulty at the beginning. And Ron noted that in the Black Book, it said, the fundamental challenge of initiation is to transcend confusion and establish order. And then Ra goes on to talk about how confusion is a very natural process in order for a mutation to take place. And of course, for something new and transcendent to come out of that mutation. And this mutation that Ra talks about is always genetic mutation. So human design talks about humans as instruments in life, not agents of control. but rather we are of the system. We are of the process of the genetic mutation. And Broad talks about this specific gate in human design as one of the ultimate beginnings of a new order, and how that can only be found through going through some levels of confusion. Now, like gate 42 prior, this is this is on the codon ring of life and death. And there's a real challenge with this gate. It's a gate of holding on to the past and not wanting to release and breathe and allow things to change and allow things to come forth. So what you want to pay attention to as we continue to go through these themes of Piscean endings and new beginnings in Aries is you want to pay attention to your body. When someone's speaking to you, are you actually listening? One of the greatest lessons a buddy of mine taught me a couple months back was if you have trouble listening to others or being present when others are speaking to you, and actually hearing them, he said to practice breathing. And so what you do is while they're talking, you just start to consciously take breaths. And as someone who has the gate of deafness, which is it's my gate of deafness. Is it my 2034? Is it my 4323? No, I'm forgetting. But I think it's the 23 at 43. It's real important for me to practice that, and I have been practicing that, and it's really powerful. Now, another thing to keep in mind was that with this particular gate is it just like the 42, it has a genetic impact. It's about how we operate as humans and how that's no different than like single cell organisms. I mean, we interact with our environment. We're affected. We're not stuck within ourselves. We're not trapped within ourselves. In a way, we're not the only trap that exists for humans is the trap of the mind. And so currently, all the like aphotic Gnosticism is all the rage on media. It's like, oh, we're prisoners here in this realm, and we have to break out, and how we break out is we don't get caught up in the illusion of matter, and the Saturnian order of matter and what it presents to us. Of course, there's great truth to that. We can't leave the mind stuck in a third density temporal realm, or we can leave the mind there and go beyond it because we're really following our frequency. We're really following a movement of our authority in our body, whatever that is. And that is what aligns us with the correct frequencies. But the danger here is for the activation of the frequencies of survival. And so, in order to push through that, it's important to embrace chaos. As I always like to say, employ chaos. Do not fear chaos, employ it. And this is all easily said, right? To trust in life and not to believe or get caught up in fears, but to believe anything is a trap. It's Belief is a shortcut to thinking. Anyone can believe anything. It doesn't really mean much. It is to a large degree about coming into your body, into your authority, and knowing what you know when you know it. Sometimes you don't know, but when you do, you know. And so it is important to note those moments of epiphany and staying strong with them in case you're not always holding to that frequency and you forget that you know. And then so you retrap yourself in the whole programming of, well, I don't know. Somebody else must know. Oh, someone else knows better. And that's been this whole problem of our experience in this realm as thinking beings that are always brought back to survival and getting stuck without breathing fully, breathing all the energy fully in and out of our bodies, which is the most important thing. But let's explore that for a bit because this is a real trap of this particular gate 3 difficulty at the beginning. And this trap is that if we don't know something, then someone else must know it. Whether it's your therapist, your religious leader, your God, your favorite media commentators on this or that. And indeed, they know things, but you know things too. And so this knowing, the difficult part is this knowing is these are feelings. This is beingness. This is being in your own authority. This is not something you can just tear off like a piece of paper and, nail it into the backboard of your mind and hope it stays there to remind you, to keep you secure in the belief of some truth. We don't really have that. Instead, what it is I wrote this quote, but I don't want to read it because it sounds terribly pretentious. And in it, I'm talking about the illusion of control. I said, control is an illusion born of the shadow cast by the inquirer, upon which the possibility to find the hidden God of control behind it. But of course, there is no hidden God. There's not even an external God. Like, the real essence of things is to remember how we were as children, how we were when we were caught in play and just playing about. There was nothing else, just play. And in our play, it wasn't like, and this is such an interesting topic to discuss because we assume play is just nonsense, but it's not. In the play of children, like you're organizing, you're creating worlds, you're destroying worlds, you're in joy because you're making the rules as you go along. You're just following your own energy. Is that not what we're still supposed to be doing as adults? True, we have built all these edifices and structures of supposed capital, solid Saturnian truth. But what happens when we come to the realization that there is no gods, there is no structures that hold us together, that we are chaos, we are the crystals of chaos that shine and flow through this realm, moving how we do without any control, just being wielded like a sword by this program or whatever it is. I hate saying program. That's what human design defaults to, that it's a program and that we're being programmed. It almost like goes back to Darwinian genetics, like we're just victims of our program. But it's not that. That's not that's not it really, because we transcend that limitation just by being able to be and have beingness in our own frequencies of where the authority is in our body. There's something magical about that, and perhaps there's something magical that's able to pull us out of the hidden traps of temporality and spatiality of Saturnian time. And that's the key here because there's a lot of fear in this gate. Gate 3 doesn't want to let go. It doesn't want to let go of the past. And as we come to the 6th line, let's see if I have Ross break down. The sixth line, it's very interesting what he shared. So this will be right around on the 2021st because, as I had mentioned, the moon's going to be going through Sagittarius, Capricorn, and then on the 21st, 22nd, it's going to conjunct Aquarius, which means we'll have a moon conjunct Pluto on the 21st, 22nd, and that'll be opposed Mars. So we're actually building up to some major intensity. We saw this back in January, around January 1st, 2nd, 5th, 6th. That was the last opposition. And now Mars and Pluto are opposing again. Now that Mars is direct again, it had regressed into Cancer for a while, causing chaos to our home environments. And now it's moving forward with the fire of Leo. And so big battles are going to be on the world stage pretty soon. And I saw that some are predicting some kind of major martial law stuff going on the 20th, 21st. It's not a surprise to see why, with a Pluto Moon conjunction opposed Mars exact in Leo. Got Leo versus Aquarius energy. And that point is actually in trine to the Aries vanishing point, where now Neptune is. And Uranus is slowly arriving at Gemini 0 degrees in July, which also will be in sextile to the Aries vanishing point. So this is rest up this week, and do your best to keep breathing, and breathe as clear as you can, because I don't know about you guys, but I'm already feeling it. Uh, the moon in Scorpio was very disturbing to me. And so I did my best to just do what I have to do as an MG, just push myself to be active. Usually when I wake, I'm always filled with an impulse. This is from one of my gates in my dream rave. I'm always filled with this impulse to complete something. And I'm not happy until whatever it is completed before the end of the day. It's like every day I have a task that I give myself. And today I was frustrated almost at every turn and just exhausted but it actually motivated me to complete other things. I had to find something, and in order to find something, I had to clean up a bunch of different parts of my place to go through things. So the process was interesting. And I wouldn't even allow myself to, well, of course, because I had thought I'd lost the item. So of course, everything I went through, I cleaned up and organized as I went through it. It just, it just, it just shifted the time in which I needed to present that thing that I had found to um, to bring it to get fixed. And so I ran out of time, and I wasn't able to bring it to get fixed. So it gets pushed till tomorrow. But at least I found it. There's a real struggle some of us have with losing things, especially around Mercury retrograde. And Mercury retrograde, we all just went through it. Hope you guys are all recovered from that. That's really about, looking at something again, something that you didn't see clearly the first time, or something that you weren't really clear on. You didn't really know what occurred. And so Mercury retrograde is always that opportunity to look at it again. And it's the same with Venus retrograde. Something occurred, something went down, and it's time to look at it again. And it doesn't have to be people. It could be in your own mind, in your own spirit, looking at something again and then allowing yourself to let it go. But now Mercury and Venus are direct, so I'll be doing another video soon on that, even though I kind of did, but I want to do one moving towards the new moon. We just had the full moon, and that full moon just Venus went direct right after the full moon Saturday, but as soon as the moon in Scorpio came in, just the energy that came in was just, I don't know, just really disturbing and really like energetically debilitating almost. I felt such pressure in my body as soon as the moon went in the Scorpio. And keep in mind, as soon as it did on Sunday, it was squaring Pluto. So that's what it is. Every 5, 6 days, there's a aspect between the moon and Pluto, and it's usually painful relative to where it is in our charts. But keeping to the point, I was going to read something. So once we arrive at this point, and this is going to be, let me get the day for you guys, because today I'm recording this on Wednesday the 16th. So this will be next Monday and Tuesday. So the beginning of next week, just as Aries, or sorry, the sun is leaving this particular Aries gate, this Aries Taurus gate. And so the line is the ultimate maturity to recognize when struggle is futile. And Ra says, don't fight. Why should I do anything about my confusion? It is okay with me. Do you have a problem? I don't mind being confused. If you think that I'm confused, it is okay with me. And Ra notes this is the sun in an exalted place. As it as light sustains, so life goes on, this voice says. The sun is still shining. I will eventually find my order. I will not struggle in this life. I meet this. Okay. So again, the sun is still shining. I will eventually find my order. I will not struggle in this life. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you guys for listening. Hopefully this was helpful. This is a very difficult time. And so do your best to take care of yourself and use the energy of this Pluto Mars to get very difficult things done. Especially now. This is also an amazing time because all the planets are direct. So that you're going to have this extra drive and energy to really accomplish things that you weren't able to accomplish before. And if you're initiating anything new, now until May 4th, perfect time. Okay, best to you all.